Welcome back, friends. This is session 3 of Hymns of the Holler. Last we left off, the gang talked about the strange radio show that came on past hours, and a radio show that they've never heard of before, Hymns of the Holler. Ginny and Hattie went to the seamstress's shop in order to order costumes. They got Ginny a job and ran into Maud Payne with a familiar hair comb, and Jack Price with a familiar everything. Ginny offering that she can give Jack that talk soon. The very pregnant Maggie and Junior go to the schoolhouse auction to buy instruments, where they get rightfully accused of being thick as thieves and close as kin, and get into a bidding battle against Levi and Viola Payne, which they win, of course. Levi corners them both as they leave and taunts Junior until he punches Levi in the face. He even gets a slap in the face from Maggie as well. Pappy went to the general store, which Barrow and Locke is trying to buy, to remind Micah Sullivan why he shouldn't work in the mines, get permission to use Birch's barn, and get verbally berated by Jed Payne. Birch said Pappy could use his barn if he would take care of this deer that had been eating his crops. The ladies head back to the house of the instruments, and Junior and Pappy go find a deer that ain't really a regular deer. Something's wrong with it. Pappy says they ought to leave. Junior shoots the gun anyways. And before we see exactly where that bullet landed, the sharp pain of father and son fighting again, Ethel and Pappy's recent altercation, which she ain't come back from yet, Ginny and Hattie's run-ins with the past, Maggie and Junior's attack on their characters. In the midst of celebrating this impending competition, everyone is also remembering just how hard it was for those few weeks. Why it's so hard to be back. We jolt our view back in the past 10 years. And we're going to do a very quick run through of what happened on the Capitol Inn night. Which we have, for viewers at home, we have alluded to, that strange things happened and that the night of Ethel's death was horrible. But we haven't actually shown any of you all, even though all of these guys have actually run it in their independent session zeros. So we're going to do a rough canon of what actually happened, despite everybody having slightly varied memories of the night. All of your individual moments, like the moments alone with the body and things like that, will be kept your own and not shown here. But anything that has you all talking to each other, anything to let our audience know the general timeline of events, etc., we're going to run through it real quick. We actually start... It is, Megan, around what time when Jenny wakes up to a knocking at the door?
It's about 5 a.m.
Jenny, it's about 5 a.m. When you are woken up to it's so gonna cut out. Knock, knock, knock. Downstairs, and you kind of half-heartedly, you wake up, Pappy's door's a lot closer to, the front door than yours is, but as you kind of get up and, put on a house coat or something, Jesse, would you vocalize for us what exactly does Ginny hear after, as she takes a few minutes to get started, Pappy's talking to whoever's at the door, and things kind of escalate. Could you voice for us what we hear?
Yeah, at first, where is Ginny upstairs, I'm assuming? Okay. So, probably from upstairs, you would hear, like, a muffled, just general conversation at first. And then, as the conversation continues, Pappy's voice slowly gets more escalated. And it gets to a point where you hear Pappy basically yelling at whoever he's talking to, and a door shut. Like, slam the door in his face kind of thing. And that's... yeah.
Jenny, you can't quite make out what exactly he's yelling about, but as you come down the staircase, you see Pappy's, right as he slams his door shut, but whoever's on the other side is on the other side.
So definitely once the yelling started, whatever the house code is, very quickly tied down the stairs. Pappy, what's going on?
Damn sheriff is spilling nonsense, and I'll have I'll see none of it. I've had enough. I've had a long day. I'm going back to bed.
About what? Who's out there?
Oh, sure, Jack Price. He's going off and saying horrible things about my Ethel, saying that she found her in the woods and she's with me in my bedroom and she's sleeping away. So,
Pappy, when has Jack ever come here to start trouble? Hold on. She walks over to the door and opens it. Jack.
Yeah, I'm sorry. There's been an incident, and I came to talk to Pappy about it, and he kicked me out. I think he's. Can I come in?
She kind of looks to Pappy, who I'm assuming does not look pleased, so maybe she buffers him at the door. I don't. Jack, Pappy, what is going on?
that deputy is saying that my Ethel was found dead this morning in them woods. And I'll have no hear of it. She's in the room. You can go look for yourself.
Jack?
Jack puts a hand on your shoulder and he says, early this morning, about an hour ago, Hardy Underwood and Virgil Caldwell and the other Underwood boys were hunting on your land over there, and they found Ethel collapsed. I'm sorry, Ginny. We went out and got her. She's back at the station. I'm sorry, but she's gone.
All right. What was she doing? Pappy, I think we ought to go see what they're talking about, at least.
I have no sense of it.
We need Pappy to come down to the station and somebody to ID the body. We ain't got a coroner around here of sorts, so we'll have to send her off, and if you don't want any trouble getting her back.
One thing at a time, Jack. Pappy, I don't have to believe anything right now, but I know this ain't gonna get worked out if we don't go figure this out. And if it is somebody else, don't you think they deserve to know that too, so they can do what they need to do? But we gotta go.
Fine. If you want me to go stare at some random dead person, say it's a random...
Pappy! Let's go.
Grabs the stuff and mumbles and grumbles as he's doing so.
Pappy and Ginny climb into Jack's wagon and head downtown. And as the cart trots down the way, kind of solemnly, we drift our camera away from the cart and down a farm or two to what is at the time Ezekiel Sullivan's farm, where Hattie lived with Pappy still at the time, but she had gone over to spend the night with Uncle Zeke and baby Micah because he had been running a fever. And who better to, a baby, 5 years old, run over to help with Micah Sullivan's fever. Who better to take care of him? Had spent the night over there, camp with him. How did we find you as you kind of had taken a little bit of a power nap? Baby was sleeping, so you thought, that'd be all right. And small house that Junior and Maggie live in. And we're inside as... It's probably... What time, Megan, of day?
AM. 8 a.m.
8 a.m.
Sun's been up an hour.
So Junior and Maggie probably awake? Question mark.
Yeah. Maggie probably ain't come downstairs yet. But Junior's awake.
Downstairs. This isn't a two-story home.
She ain't come out of her room yet. She ain't.
Yeah.
She ain't.
She hasn't come down the hall yet.
Yeah, down the hall.
What's Junior doing at 8 a.m. in the morning? Daughter's not out of her room yet. Hasn't started. Two of you haven't started to head towards town yet. Drop her off at Grammy's.
I bet Junior's probably still going through the process of waking up. He's not an early riser if he doesn't have to be, and I imagine he's probably done, some manual labor past couple of days. His back sore, so he took an easy morning. So he's probably just about maybe going to get breakfast ready. Trying to get through the morning routine. I'd say that's probably what he's doing if he hears something at the door.
A tonally unimportant question. We have joked in the past that Junior doesn't know how to cook. What's he making for breakfast?
He's not making anything. I think he'll set out the ingredients and hope Maggie will get to it. And if she doesn't, he just won't eat.
Love it. Awesome.
Supposed to be sausages.
He's setting out, sausage, a few eggs, whatever. And then going, well, I've done all I can do. He lights the fire. Done all I can do. And you just start sifting through the icebox looking for something cold. And, again, knock, knock, knock.
Bit early for visitors, but I'll go see what it is. And he, reluctantly goes up because, what's Junior doing receiving company at this early in the morning? But he'll go open the door. Good morning. What, a little early?
You open the door and you see Hardy Underwood on the other side in front of your paws.
Bright and early. What's going on?
Yes. I know it's real early, Mr. Grimshaw. I just figured somebody ought to tell you, and I didn't know if anyone got down here yet.
I don't think anybody needs to tell me how early it is. I kind of see that myself.
No, Mr. Grimshaw. Early this morning, a couple hours ago now, maybe 4. Me and my boys and Virgil Caldwell were hunting on your pa's land, and we found your ma. Miss Ethel had passed out or something. I don't rightly know, and we'd found her over by the mine in the woods, and we called the sheriff, and they got her to the station, and we were answering some questions. But I'm very sorry, Mr. Grimshaw, but your mother's passed.
That can't be right. That can't be right. What would she be doing out there?
That's what your pa said. As I left, he was making quite the fuss, but I don't know, Mr. Grimshaw, but we found her, and I'm just so sorry.
You guys hear a board creak in the hallway.
Junior looks over his shoulder to see what it is, and is it Maggie coming out of her bedroom? Yeah, he looks over his shoulder. He's like, Maggie. Go in the kitchen.
That's not true. That can't be true.
Maggie, go in the kitchen.
No, that can't be true. And I think Maggie, at this point, she is walking past, trying to at least, isn't she? If I remember correctly.
Your mom's, she's down at the station. Your pa's seen the body, and Miss Ginny too, and I think maybe Miss Hattie was driving up when I left. So
Does Maggie push past? Maggie pushes past Hardy and just starts going down the road.
Maggie. And Junior watches her go. Is she running? Like, is she sprinting?
She has probably, I don't think in my session 0, I don't think she even put shoes on. I think she's sprinting barefoot to the station.
Well, if Maggie's going, then Junior's gonna follow her, but he's not gonna run, and he's gonna just, mutter something like "excuse me" to Hardy Underwood, and then kind of push past as well and watch her go down. But he's not gonna run to catch up with her. And the whole time he's thinking, this can't be true. But if it is true, how was he the last one to know? Again, he's always the last one to know. And he just keeps replaying that in his head. And this just keeps happening to him. All the people that have made some sort of impact in Junior's life, or the people that he loves, they are all leaving again. And this one's his moth. And so he walks down to the station. I think maybe he breaks into a little bit of a jog to kind of catch up with Maggie. And I would say they roughly get there at about the same time when she's trying to go in.
Yeah. And as we've seen how everybody finds out and departs. We go back in time slightly as we see the cart with Jack and Jenny and Pappy pull up and arrive at the station. And as you walk in, the sheriff is waiting for you all.
Hello, folks. I'm sorry about this. It's right sad. Mr. Grimshaw, will you be you'll just go with the deputy for just a moment, and the body we recovered is just through that door. We just need you to say if you recognize her. And again, I'm real sorry, folks.
And because Pappy doesn't think this is anybody he knows, thinking this will be quick, he can get back to his morning. Walks with Jack Price. We head in, and Jesse just maybe not even a minute passes, and then what does Ginny hear in the lobby?
Is the lobby close by to where you can kind of hear yeah. So at first it's, probably the ruffling of like the body bag or whatever they have Ethelyn, and probably a good, I'd say 10 to 15 seconds of pure silence. Feels like an eternity, but really it's only about 10 to 15 seconds, and you just hear Pappy just, "No, that's not my Ethel."
And does Pappy, go past Jack Price back into the main room?
I'd say maybe Jack would probably say something along the lines of "Mr. Grimshaw, please, we need you to vote whatever," and he just continues it. "No, that's not my Ethel," and then he just turns around and walks out the door. "I've had enough. All right, got what you guys wanted. It's not Ethel. Let's go home."
If I remember, Jack is giving me the eye and the come here, right?
Very sad, he just needs help, Jenny.
Jack, give me a moment.
I didn't want to ask you to do this.
I know. Just give me a moment. Pappy, I don't rightly know what's going on yet, but can you, I'm gonna talk to Jack. Can you sit here and maybe, wait for Hattie? I think she's on her way.
Why are we bringing everyone into this? That is not Ethel. Hattie don't need to come over. No one else needs to come over.
All right.
Ethel.
All right. Well, let me talk to Jack. We'll start to figure this out. But you're right. There's a lot of something going on. It just don't quite feel right. But and she kind of So in my session 0, he was very upset, and she kind of kissed his little forehead, just to say, like, that this ain't right. But you sit here, and I'm gonna go figure this out with Jack. All right?
Whatever, dude. What you gotta do is leave me out of it.
All right.
He sits in a little chair.
Yeah, the sheriff kind of motions him to a chair and tells him to calm down. And
That's right, because Ginny gave him the death stare that was like, "Don't touch him."
and
Yeah,
then Jack's
she-
over by the door.
She goes over to Jack.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Are you okay?
No, but I don't. I'm so confused. This, he's not wrong. This ain't right.
We won't know what happened as sure as we can, or another week or so. She'll have to go over to Tourniquet and come back. We can't see anything wrong. Body's right clean, Ginny. It looks like she just sat down and decided to die.
It don't make no sense, Jack. You it don't make sense, and you need to be asking the right questions.
I will.
All right.
Will you see her?
Yeah. I'll go back.
All right. He opens the door and he kind of puts an arm around you, and he walks in with you to see the body.
But we don't see that scene. Jesse, talk to us about how Pappy's feeling right now as he's alone and we're waiting for a moment until Hattie arrives.
So, in the lobby, it's just me, right?
You and the sheriff.
You and the sheriff.
Sheriff ain't even talking to you.
I think at this point, he started off sitting in his little chair, just kind of grumping to himself, and then he went and like stood up, walking circles around, just like the exit door, looking out the window, just continuing off to grumble to himself, and he eventually walks up to the room that Ginny had went in, just like loud banging, like, "Come on now, I'm tired of this. This is ridiculous. Why are we trying to waste my time lying to me about silly things? Plain out not silly. Let's go home. Ethel's waiting for me."
And the sheriff will kind of, Mr. Grimshaw, you can take a seat if you'd like.
I ain't sitting down.
Miss Ginny will be out right soon.
You bring her to me right now. We're going to go home.
I'm sure Miss Ginny and the deputy will be done real soon. I'm sure they'll be out right quick. I'm sorry, Mr. Grimshaw. I know this is a hard time.
Piece of shit. And just like turns around, just like this is circling the room, pacing the room.
Sorry, Joe. The sheriff will say, "Now, that ain't no way to talk, Mr. Grimshaw. I'm very sorry, but let's stay calm. Let's take a seat."
Ain't no way to talk. I can say a few swear words here and there, but you're the one spitting off lies about my beloved Ethel. Ain't no way to damn talk my ass.
Oh, Mr. Grimshaw, we ain't told no lies. We found a body. I'm very sorry. I know this is a tense time, but let's all stay calm and let's do the best we can. I know this is very hard for you. I'm sorry. Let's sit down. And he kind of grabs your arm to kind of move you.
Get your hand off me. Goes and he just
Right as like that physical altercation happens, how do you walk through the door and see that?
What on earth is going on? Dad, Sheriff, this is a little much. Daddy, talk to me. What is going on? What happened?
The whole town seems to be on this giant fib fest that my Ethel is dead and in that room. When she is waiting for me at the house, and all I want to do is get back to her.
Who else is here?
Jenny's in the room with Jack.
Okay. Dad, I'm gonna sort of take one of his hands and I need you to take some deep breaths. Maybe walk a couple circles, whatever you need to do. Just clear your head, okay? Everyone's a little confused at the moment. I just need...
Hattie grabs your hand, pulls you like closer. I was with her this morning. She's not here. She's at home.
Okay. Alright. Well... I'm gonna go talk to Ginny real quick. Ginny and the sheriff. Just take a few deep breaths. You and I both know that cussing and throwing hands around isn't gonna make anything any better, okay? You taught us better than that.
Jimmy
So-
steps out of the room with Jack Price. We see a brief embrace between the two of them. And Jenny, you can see that Aunt Hattie's here now and seems to be talking Pappy off a cliff a little bit.
Okay. Go ahead and sit yourself down. But
Hattie,
yeah.
I can, if Pappy wants to go home, I can take him. I can...
Well, I certainly think he needs to get out of here. Do you think he should go home?
That's where he wants to go.
He's already walking towards the wagon.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then you better go catch up with him, I suppose.
Yeah, it's all right. I can drive. I can. So
I trust
get
you.
him home.
Okay, I'll be back up to house in a minute. I'm just gonna, give her a big old hug. And I think for one of the probably few instances that you've been around for, Hattie's just kind of doesn't have anything to say. And says, I'll meet up with you in a little bit, okay?
Ginny heads
Jack.
out.
Yeah.
They go.
Jack sees you, Hattie, and says, "Hello, Miss Hattie. I'm sure you've got all kinds of questions.
I
I'll
most
answer
certainly
anything."
do. Please forgive him. That man has said goodbye to more people than he had any right to. I just think, I know what denial looks like. When Sid, I know what denial looks like. Is she in any condition to be visited?
If you'd like to see her, I'll let you. Ginny already did the identification, so there's no need. But
I want to see
she
my
looks-
mom, Jack.
we can do that. And he
Thank you.
kinda motions for you, and he opens the door.
Okay.
And we don't see what happens when Hattie goes to visit her mom. But she goes back to the house. And at 8:30 in the morning, several hours later, had to find out from Hardy Underwood. Junior and Maggie arrive at the front door of the sheriff's office, police station, right around the same time. they both burst into the front door, and Jack's still standing there.
So what is this? Ma's here? You say she's here.
Yeah, Junior, I'm sorry. They found her early this morning. Ginny came in and did the ID. Hattie got to see her. If you'd like to say a few words, we ain't sent her off yet.
You said Ginny came in to do the ID?
Well, yes. Your pa was a bit upset. Pappy was in a state which I believe is understandable. So yes, Junior, we had you do it, which is.
And what time did what time was she? What time did they find her in the woods?
Well, it was early this morning when we got the call in. They ran down and got us about 4.
4 in the morning. It's 8. It's nearly 8:39 now, and no one. I had to find out from Hardy Underwood coming to my house. No one came to tell me, or Maggie. I mean, I'm
sorry.
I am her oldest son. You had Ginny come ID the body?
That was a matter of time, and Junior, she was there when I went to get Pappy.
I don't live 3 or 4 plots over. The least you could have done was, I mean, I wouldn't have minded a knock on the door at 4 in the morning if I knew it was for this. And I had to find out this way.
They've all come and gone.
We do what we can. Yeah, I suppose Miss Hattie left about near an hour ago now.
They've been gone for an hour and we're just fine now.
Sorry, we don't have the sort of resources. I'm sorry. We thought word would get to you.
Word would get to us. Wow. So you say she's in there. Let me go take a look then. Seems like everybody else has done it already. Maggie, you stay here.
Do that.
Stay here?
That's
What do
no
you mean
place for
stay here?
It's no place for you. You don't. If it is Ethel, you should not go in there.
If it's my Grammy, I can't see her. That's what you're saying to me?
That's what I'm saying to you. I don't think you should be going in there. You don't need to see her like that.
No, I need to see her. I do, and I want to more.
I don't think you should. And without waiting for an answer, if Jack lets him in, Junior's going to go into the room.
I think when Junior turns, Maggie calls out, "You ain't never been a paw to me before. I don't know why you think you can start now." She sits down in a chair and crosses her arms.
He does not. He does not turn around.
You sit down in the same chair that Pappy did earlier. Cross your arms just like he did. And Junior goes in. We don't see what happens when he's in there with his mom. How long is Junior gone?
About 5 minutes.
And when those 5 minutes is up, what does Maggie see as Junior exits the room?
How close was the lobby to the room?
Very close.
She didn't hear anything the whole time he was in there. And he comes out and he looks at her and he doesn't say anything at first as he starts walking past the lobby. And then, his hands are in his pocket, gazes down, and then I think he probably looks over his shoulder and says something like, "I'll see you at home soon, Maggie." Heads out the door.
Jack, I want to see her.
Maggie, I'm very sorry. And he opens the door and motions for you.
Maggie
And
walks happen?
We don't know what happens with Maggie and her Grammy alone in there. We cut back to the house where we first see Ginny and Pappy arrive back home alone. Pappy, you feel just this sense of relief. You are back home. That horrible morning you've just had is kind of already slightly fuzzy, and your kind of main focus and priority is you feel very confident that Ethel's in bed.
I think, yeah, Pappy, the minute they get parked, he just no hesitation walks straight to the bedroom, opens the door. There you are, my sweetie. Oh, it's been a morning. I'll have to tell you about it when I just need some rest. It's so good to see you.
Ginny steps in.
Ginny
glances
did
into
not
the
step
bedroom.
in.
You said
Ginny
you looked
did
at her,
not.
though.
Nuh-uh. No.
You hear
I looked to see if she was there on her way out,
Oh, yes.
and she was not.
You-
I wasn't sure what was
Happy
going to
face.
happen when he hit the door and she wasn't there. So Ginny kind of hung back in the doorway so that she got to witness him talking to her. And it really doesn't know what to do with that, but in some ways a little relieved that she's not having to deal with him more distressed, but also absolute goosebumps at the fact that he just talked to Grammy and she just talked to Grammy, the body. So she just kind of pauses at the door and does not step through and turns around and sits on the porch.
And a bit later, Hattie comes in through the other door. I think in your session 0 we kind of said you gave Ginny a wide berth, and I believe when you came in, Pappy was sitting in the window, looking out the window. Pappy, you're having a nice conversation with Ethel. You let the window open a little bit. You're looking out at the rain. Sid used to love to sit and watch the rain. Yeah, this is just a right nice time. And you see Hattie walk in. Hattie, you see Pappy sitting. There's an empty chair next to him, and he's, Jesse, what is Pappy saying?
Am I in the bedroom or the?
We're in like the mudroom, looking out the window towards the back.
Well, let's get to talking about once I left.
Well, not a whole lot, I suppose. Making plans in as much as one can plan for stuff like this on short notice. Well, how are you? How are you, Dad? What are you up to?
Well,
Like very suspiciously eyeing, like fearing that he's about to say what he's about to say.
So, just to paint the picture again, is it me sitting next to another chair? It's blank. Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. He just sits there. He's like, well, me and Ethel were just talking about the crazy morning that we had. And just can't believe, as with the reputation that we've had in this town, why would people go and spout off lies like that? It's just nonsense. Right, Ethel?
Yeah, there certainly is a bit of silliness going around, it seems, Dad. Why don't I... You know what? Why don't I make you some tea? And it might be a good idea to shut that window before it gets too musty in here, too.
Yeah, probably. What about you, sweetie? You want some tea, too? Make it too, Hattie.
Sure, Dad. And I'm kind of mashing up two things that happened here, but the tea that I'm making is also part of me kind of calling upon my gift a little bit.
Pappy, you're handed this tea, and I think Hattie Ethel mentioned, maybe they'd like to talk for a minute. You kind of head back to the bedroom.
Yeah, thank you. Forgot that.
Yeah. And so, Pappy, you head back to go lie down, let Ethel know, come on soon. And Hattie, you're alone at this empty chair. Roleplay as much of this as you want to be shown. If any of that feels like you want it to be secret, we'll stop the scene whenever.
So Hattie has made a very specific tea that is perfectly innocuous, if maybe a little bitter, when it's not imbued with a particular set of biblical incantations that probably just sounded like her muttering to herself in the kitchen. But as she stands here, just breathing in the fumes from this tea, and she starts trying to kind of reach out to the space around her with this gift that she was given. She's never used it like this before. It usually only happens when she's out in the garden, or she's doing a healing, saying a healing word over somebody, where she gets this kind of feeling of brightness and warmth in her chest. And this is the first time she's ever tried to call that forward without being having gone through the proper procedure, in as much as she understands it. And she starts trying to connect with the house and with the garden and with her surroundings, and when she does that, she feels nothing. By which I don't necessarily mean she doesn't feel anything. She feels nothing.
Yeah, how do you reach into the space that your father was talking to, and you feel nothing? Is there anything that Hattie would say to whatever this is before she leaves?
I don't know what this is, what you are. But as Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior, you have no purchase on this house. I'll see to that myself. Shuts the window fully. Takes a little bit of table salt and makes a line of it across the window. And I think this didn't happen in the session 0. I think we kind of fast forwarded, but I think she's just gonna go sit out wordlessly on the porch with Ginny.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. We leave the house there. Don't highlight things, Megan. You're scaring me. Junior and Maggie go straight home. There's a funeral a few days later. Pappy does not go. That night, Pappy and Maggie would have a memory blurred by grief of Maggie's doing something that I won't share, and arrives on Pappy's back porch with some scraped knees. Pappy washes her off a little bit, sends her right on home. She doesn't go home. And that's our order. Maggie leaves the night of the funeral. Junior leaves as soon as he realizes Maggie did. Hattie, shortly after that, headed over to Kentucky. Ginny, a couple months after that, headed straight to school. All of you retain your session 0 different recollections of exactly what happened. Memories funny like that. It kind of allow it to meld with what we've just done. To some of it might be a bit of a blur. People remember things different sometimes. But again, as we're interacting with our past and tensions are running a bit high, you all think back to this week, these couple weeks surrounding Ethel's death, and you remember why you left, and you remember just how hard this is going to be. We go back, so obviously Sunday was church, that was session 1. Monday was last session, you guys went out shopping. It's Monday early evening now. Sun hasn't quite gone down yet. The boys are still out. We just left as Junior pulled the trigger. But we don't see quite yet either where that bullet landed. Because first we go back to the house where Maggie is setting plates out on the table. And you're setting out placemats and putting plates down on top of it so that whoever's cooking dinner can get ready to serve it. And you feel a sharp pain in, like, your abdomen. And you kind of reach for your stomach. And before you can even react long enough to panic, your eyes roll back into your head. Your vision goes black. And you see dark woods. Creepy, eerie trees that creak in the late night, barely moving wind. Nothing fills you. From the center of your chest out into all of your limbs, into the very tips of your fingers. And you see, as you look down, it ain't a deer, but it's something like it, lying dead on the ground, pool of blood, the midnight moonlight glinting off of the pool of blood around it, red foam dripping from the deer's mouth. And you're back in the kitchen, and it's early evening. The moon is not out. You are not in the woods. You're in the kitchen.
I think she takes a deep breath, puts a hand where the sharp pain was in her abdomen, protective little hand on the baby. Shakes it off, keeps putting the plates down.
Amazing. Now, we move our view out to the woods. as the what's it called when a gun does that? What's that called? Jesse, help me.
Kickback?
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
As the
Recoil.
recoil. That's
Yeah.
the word I was looking for. As the shotgun, right? I think. Recoil pushes Junior's shoulder back a little bit. Isn't it a shotgun? What did I say?
It's a shotgun, but I mean, we're getting it. Okay, whatever. Sure.
I don't know anything about guns. Okay, guys.
A rifle would be much better.
Do you want it to be one slug?
Can we just move on? It's a gun.
Gun.
It's a gun. Okay?
It's a long gun.
It's a big long gun
It's a big, long, appropriate 1930s gun.
for shooting a deer.
For shooting a deer.
Okay.
God. Anyway.
Would you say that's a shotgun or a rifle?
I'd say probably a rifle.
Okay, it's a
a
rifle.
rifle.
Thank you. So I'm literally a woman. I don't know why you would expect me to know that. God. Just kidding. Oh, I already got offended. The rifle. Yeah, that's what you said. The rifle kicks back, moving Junior's shoulder a little bit. Junior and Pappy at the very same time. You see the deer stumble and then dart off into the woods.
We don't have much time. We don't know where that thing's going. We need to go.
Why do we need to go? Just a deer is gonna die on the forest floor.
If it's what I'm thinking it is, it's you just pissed it off. It's gonna come back.
How's it gonna come back when it's bleeding all like that? It's not even gonna make it past the tree line.
Junior, you come with me right now or you're dead. And I don't mean just by me, I mean literally. You will die.
Alright, Pa, whatever. Well, it's getting dark anyway. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
as fast as a 80-year-old man would go, booking it to.
Yeah, you guys head back to the house. Any other words exchanged between Birch's house and yours? The, quarter mile?
Junior.
Yeah.
Yep, go for it.
I was gonna say, Junior, after this brisk walking in silence, he's still got the rifle slung over his shoulder. He would think about it before he says anything, but he would bring this up about halfway on the walk, and he would ask, "Why'd you balk at that deer, Pa? You never been one to hesitate like that. I've never seen you act like this. I mean, going out hunting, taking care of the problem."
You're right. Normally I would. That was no deer. I don't care what kind of hoopla you think sickness that creature had. No. There's something more to these woods.
Can't be. It's just a wasting disease, Pa. I've seen the other animals with it. Every now and then you always get one. Don't give the woods any more power than what people are already trying to give them.
How many times are you gonna deny it? These woods, minds within these woods, change the course of this land for many years. There are things unseen and unheard of. I don't know what I have to do to get through your thick skull to notice that there's something more going on here.
Sure, the woods and the mines have changed it, but it's because of us. It's because of the people here. It's not some mystical power held only by the trees and the coal, and you can't just give it that power. You can't just say that. That's not what it is. It's the people, Pa. It's the people behind it.
Yeah, it is the people. But whenever people take from Mother Nature, she'll pay her back.
Junior shakes his head and keeps walking.
Before you do, Junior, whenever Pappy tells you How much longer are you going to deny it? Don't you know there's something more? You can't help but think of Cora May. She would say that. She knew you didn't like to talk about it, but she knew there was something more out there. And as your paw walks away from you, and the gun's still in your hand and it's still a bit warm, you look towards the tree line where that deer, or whatever it was, ran off. And you don't know what it is, but as the sun's setting, and there's a low wind through the trees, you get this feeling like it was only fair. Give and take. Life for life. Feels like justice.
Yeah. Junior has spent how many years since Cora May's... He doesn't call it death. It's not death. It's just since she's gone. Since Cora May's gone. Thinking about this sort of thing, but he cannot let himself think of it as any more. Something just happened. She's just gone. But maybe it does feel a bit justified. Something came out of those woods. He shot it. She went in those woods. She's not back. But maybe one day. Because she's not dead. Not until he sees her body, she's not dead.
You guys make it home. Everybody's back at the house now with all their things. I know there's a few things that I'm wondering if we might want them to happen. If you guys would give me 2 minutes to text you all, I'll send you a message on my iPhone to see who wants to run what. But feel free to chat amongst yourselves for a moment. Back at the house, it's early evening. You guys come in, dinner's still being prepared by whomsoever, it doesn't really matter. Maggie, I'll go to you first. What does Maggie do as you see Junior and Pappy walk back in the house? Energy seems tense. But, when does it not? When is it never? When is it not tense with them?
How'd it go? We got a place to rehearse?
Yeah, well, we'll figure something out.
He grabs the rifle out of Junior's hands, hangs it up in the gun cabinet.
What's for dinner?
Chicken and dumplings, I think, are on the stove.
Good choice, Maggie. Feels like a chicken and dumplings sort of night.
Don't it always with this weather turning? Did you boys have fun? Or we alright?
Yeah, it was loads of fun. This time.
Yeah.
Did you get anything? Is there something outside I need to be making preparations to get cut up and cooked?
And you see, Pappy just kind of, very cautiously and almost in a paranoid state, keeps, darting his eyes back at the window, to the direction that they came.
No, whatever it is, it ran off. I think that's probably for the best. I'll have a talk with
Zeke.
Yeah. I have a talk with
Birch.
Birch.
No, Birch.
Gotcha.
I have a talk with Birch whenever next I see him, but don't worry about the barn. We'll have a place.
Alright. That sounds good.
Pappy,
Yeah.
you kind of what's Pappy's nighttime routine? Hattie's still out and about somewhere. You're not sure where Hattie is, but it seems like Jenny's up, maybe in her bedroom, maybe on the porch. Not in her bedroom, certainly.
Ginny camped outside to avoid that bedroom. She's not in that bedroom. I was actually about to ask. I don't remember what we were doing when we came home.
Haven't said. Nothing yet. Maybe Ginny's sitting on the porch, tuning up her fiddle a little bit. Hattie's out and about. But, with Junior and Maggie here, and then you assume Ethel must be around here somewhere. What's Pappy's, routine to get everybody boarded up? In for the night, whatever.
For the night or for dinner?
Would Pappy wait to get the house settled until Hattie gets back?
I would say so, probably.
Yeah. Okay. So does Pappy get ready, sit down for dinner?
Yeah, he might go wash off his face, go change his shirt, maybe. Has worn the same pair of jeans for the past 3 weeks, but he'll change his shirt. Yeah, just kind of stuff like that.
Awesome. Yeah, as you're going kind of about just getting washed up and everything, Ethel's not in her normal roosting spots. It's just kind of on your mind still.
Hey,
And he just kind of anyone who will listen, in the general area.
have you seen my Ethel around here? She hasn't come back since the other night. I don't know if you guys seen her near the chicken coop or,
Just Maggie and Junior here.
I think maybe I caught a glimpse of her walking near the pond this morning, but pregnancy brain can't really remember too many things, right?
Pregnancy brain, yeah, that's it.
okay, well,
And he'll just kind of aimlessly walk around the house, just trying
Yeah.
every closet, just...
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, you see with Ginny outside and Hattie gone, Junior and Maggie, you find you're at least here for a moment alone, both eating your dinner. As Pappy's, he stepped out onto the porch. He's looking underneath the underneath the lattice and.
Ethel.
I thought 10 years later we might be over this, but this is a long time of. Well, I guess it's sundown in time anyway for him. So.
Yeah. Things are always harder at night, too.
These dumplings are good. What'd you put in them?
Truth be told, they're just cut up biscuits.
Best cut up biscuits I had in 10 years.
Oh, good, I'm glad.
All those boarding houses I was at, they never knew how to cook right. I did miss your cooking. You were always better at it than me.
Yeah, I missed having someone to cook for.
Well, how are you feeling with that going on in there? If you know what I mean.
Feeling fine, I think.
Maggie, I don't even know what to ask about. It's been so long. I mean, I remember when your ma was gonna have you, but how many years was that? All I know how to say is I'm glad it's going well. Do you know if it's you know what it is?
No, I could probably have suspicions, but no, I don't know.
What do you want it to be?
I do know. Truth be told, I ain't sure. I know I don't want it to be anything like its father. Boy or girl, I don't know. But either way, it wasn't supposed to be your first grandkid.
You keep Well, I guess you haven't said much, but I mean, you haven't told me nothing about this man. I mean, that's the father of my grandchild. I suppose I should probably know something about him.
Well, in some ways, he was a lot like you. Real smooth, real charming when he needed to be. Came home more often than not smelling alcohol. All the things I was used to. But unlike you, he didn't treat me well. After we were married, pretty quick after we were married, he'd come home later and later. Sometimes having sweet little perfume mixed in on him too. And the first time that I was pregnant, well, I made him a whole dinner to try and surprise him, and he didn't come home until midnight that night. And I was angry. I was real angry. Really. And I knew how he was when he was angry, and I knew how he was when I was angry. But something about that night, I just let it go. And I just snapped. And before I knew it, I was face down on the ground with a boot in my stomach. And the next morning when I woke up, having to wash blood out of the laundry, out of the bed sheets, well, I didn't have anything else to tell him anyways, so pretty quiet marriage after that.
Maggie, I never wanted anything like that for you. You're the best of us, Maggie. I can't help but feel that somehow it's my fault. I think it all ties back to me. I'm Maggie.
Not your fault. Not much you can do about it anyways. Before you go to bed tonight, or before you go home, or to the shed or wherever you've been staying, will you just come up, tell me goodnight? I got something to show you too.
Yeah, I mean, I can do that. What time you want me up there? It's not like I got much going on after this anyway.
I don't know. I was waiting for everyone else to get back before I went to bed, but I don't know. Maybe I can just show you now.
Well,
Maggie stands up and puts her plates in the sink and starts to walk upstairs.
yeah, and Junior will follow her. And his heart's weighing heavy. I mean, because he did not know any of this. This is his baby girl. And to hear even just a little bit of that is really, really dragging him down. There's a lump in his throat that hasn't been there in a while. And then he follows Maggie upstairs.
Maggie goes into her room. She sits on the bed, tucks a little quilt around her. You can sit down if you want.
I mean, is there room? I don't want you to feel cramped or anything.
No, you're fine.
All right then. He takes a seat next to Maggie, not too close, but he's next to her.
Maggie reaches into her nightstand drawer and she hands him a very thin piece of paper. And Eve, I'm going to text you what that paper says.
All right.
Guys, my heart is beating so fast right now.
We'll see Eve's reaction live, but we won't really get to see Junior's. We'll let Eve read it on camera and then cut away.
Let me reread. Oh.
Don't spoil.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. And we pan away from her upstairs bedroom as Junior starts to read the letter. And we drift back down the stairs and back out through the back door. We see Ginny, like, one leg up on the bench next to her, and she's fiddling with the strings on her fiddle. No pun intended. Sorry. Talk to us a little bit about where Ginny's headspace is at and what she's up to.
Well, Ginny at this point would probably do just about anything to avoid having to think about the conversation she just promised Jack, including trying to brush up on the fiddle. So that's a good way to keep her hands busy and her brain busy, because it takes some concentration and some thinking. But also she can't stop thinking in the quieter moments about whatever made her decide to go grab Pappy from the edge of the woods, because she saw him wandering around and, you know, was being Pappy. And then she just knew that something was a little bit dangerous in that moment, and that's why she grabbed Hattie. And anytime things get a little too quiet, she thinks about that. And she'd much rather think about that than Jack right now.
Yeah. You have all kinds of really hard things circulating right now. I mean, it's exactly what we mentioned kind of in that opening of, like, yeah, you get a awkward visit from the past, and you're met with a harsh reality, your grandfather's present. Hard. You remember why you left. Because Pappy's like this, and Jack's like that. We leave Ginny there, trying not to think. Seeing how good she remembers the fiddle. And we move away from the house, downtown, to Hattie. She's has one of her little bags in her hand. And we first see her looking up at something, and then we turn our view to see what she's looking at, and we see a radio tower. And the radio station, right as a middle-aged, plain-looking man closes up the door behind him and then turns around, and Hattie, you see a man.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Well, I'm doing just fine. Good evening, closing time. How are you?
It's been sort of a long day, sort of an unusual day. Matter of fact, I had a question. I'm sure. I mean, you work? Are you on the maintenance staff, or do you work with the machines, like the radio machines?
No, I'm right sorry. Here, and he puts out a hand to shake your hand. He says, "It's Dylan Weathers. I'm pretty new in town. I'm the new host."
Okay, all right. See, now that I hear you talking, I can recognize the voice from the radio. That you are so good. Goodness gracious.
Oh, I'll blush. Don't do that. It's just, you know.
Well, good thing it's usually just a microphone. Well, but you do a perfectly good job of it anyhow. Now, listen, I won't take up much of your time because I figure you're trying to get out of here. Everyone's got supper to get to. This might be a technology question, but there's this program that we picked up on our transistor last night called Hymns of the Holler. Does that ring a bell to you? Because I'd never heard it before.
No, ma'am. We any evening show's really more of a morning show. I was just locking up a few things, and I ain't never heard of Hymns of the Holler.
Well, see, neither had I, and that's
title though.
Right. But yeah, it was peculiar because we were sort of picking it up after the broadcast usually finished for the night, and I'm wondering maybe, like, is there a station from another tower that we could be getting, or I don't know. But you don't broadcast anything by that name from this station.
No. We got a couple of good shows. We got Ma's Dinner Table, which is that nice cooking one where I have people on talking about their best recipes. That one's a big hit. You ought to listen to that one. Have that about 10 a.m. and then Tuesday, Thursday. Let's see. We got a couple of good music stations. Got them good one of them new bluegrass groups. A couple of old porch light singers. I mean, my goodness, they're something else.
Well, they certainly were. Well,
I heard they're gonna come together.
They well, indeed they are. I don't know exactly how that's gonna go. I hope people enjoyed as much this time around as they did earlier in their career.
Excited. I think that'll be something real interesting. But no, man, we ain't got a show called Hymns of the Holler. And if you can't find it, let me know. I like that title. I might have to put that on the air. But nope.
I mean, well,
like here.
if you ever want anyone to run something like a gospel hour, I do. You know, I've been playing up at the church since I was a baby. I could try my hand at it, or at the very least on a programming side of things. I'm getting away from myself. You got things to do. I got things to do. Thank you very much. I'm done taking your time. Have a wonderful evening. What was your name one more time? My apologies.
Yeah. He reached his hand out again. He says, Dylan Weathers.
Dylan Weathers. Okay, I'm gonna write that down.
Oh.
I can be sort of, I can be kind of forgetful sometimes. All right, Mr. Weathers, thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you on the radio.
Yeah, and I'll think about that gospel hour. What did you say your name was?
Hattie. Hattie Grimshaw.
He gets a little starstruck as you walk away.
Oh, now see, this is exactly what I did not want to happen.
Like that?
You think nothing of it? We've been living here the whole time. We're just folk. You're gonna get me all worked up.
Well, Miss, I'm right excited to hear the reunion.
I think I am too.
Yeah.
Right, well,
Well, I'll talk at you later.
That was so weird. Hattie.
Having ended this interaction, I am moving on to the next one.
Yeah, you're moving on. Where does Hattie head next?
Well, it is just a short hop, skip, and a jump up the road and around the corner to the church. And what day of the week is this?
This is Monday.
This is Monday.
You would know where the person you're looking for lives, if that is helpful to you. You know where everybody lives. You can assume you know where everybody lives.
Okay, fine. Then, yeah, I'm going to head toward Lovelina's house, since Women's Auxiliary's not meeting tonight.
God, that's really funny. Yeah, you head to this real tiny cottage, like shack, just a little ways up the road. from the church. Like it's a very short walk for her for church every day. So like it's basically like in the woods right behind the church. And yeah, you go over and knock.
Oh, yes, I do that.
But I imagine who answers the door is not Miss Lovelina, but this guy, who opens the door. You probably haven't met him. But it's a skinny young man. He's got a sort of light brown hair, kind of combed over, and he's just kind of looks about 25, 26. He says, can I help you?
Good evening, young man. I am here to seek the company of one Lovelina Walden. Is Miss Walden around?
He kind of looks out at how late it is. He goes, yes, ma'am.
Could you tell her that
Right.
Hattie's... Yeah.
Ready, Miss Hattie's here to see you. Okay, she's coming. Have a good night. And you see that he goes past you, and you notice that he's wearing a uniform that's quite familiar to you. This is the uniform Jack used to wear. He's in a deputy's uniform. He's off going to work. And then the sweetest, oldest
Gears
woman,
are turning.
Sweetest, oldest woman walks into the room. Miss Lovelina Walden is 97. And she kind of walks in and she says, well, good evening, Miss Hattie.
Good evening to you. How are you
What did
feeling?
I owe them? Oh, I'm right as rain. You know me.
You
Come
are...
in,
you.
come in. Sit down.
Oh, well, of course. And I did not come empty-handed, I brought a bushel of rosemary and a bit of... I've had this purple passion flower hanging in the shed for a while that I haven't done anything with, so I was wondering if maybe you could use some of that. ¿Qué
Is there a
pasó?
problem, my darling?
No, we're good. Go ahead.
Oh, I always can, Miss Hattie. I do appreciate your visits.
Well, I appreciate your company. Matter of fact, on the subject of the things that I brought with me.
They'd make a lovely tea. You want some tea right now? I'll just go whip it up right now. Put the kettle on.
Well, I mean, you can make me go do that if you want to, but first, I should let you know that I come seeking knowledge of the things of God's green earth.
Well, sounds like we might need that tea after all.
Very much so.
She slowly waddles into the kitchen and takes a seat at the table. 2 cups of tea. Well, what brings you here then?
Oh, Miss Walden, I'm not entirely sure. What I do know is that, well, you and I have talked about this in several different venues, whether it be Sunday school or here, but do you remember a while back, just after Mom passed, I said that I got that sort of uneasy feeling. Well, not to put too fine of a point on it, but it started happening more and more often. And other night up at the house, Ginny, you remember Ginny, right? Of course you do.
Of course. Best little Mary I ever had.
Certainly gave Viola a run for her money, but we're not here to talk about Miss Payne, are we?
We are not.
We found Dad out by the mine, or trying to work his way toward it. And it almost looked like he was being compelled. And I've been doing some small workings around the house just to keep things sort of neat and tidy, but I think I need something stronger than what I've been using. Something that might be kind of beyond my own capabilities. And I was wondering if you knew anything or anybody that could help with something a bit more potent. I know that's a lot to dump on a DM all at once.
Got you. Lovelina thinks to herself. She says, "Well, Miss Hattie, that's mighty troubling. That don't sound like your paw right at all, but you know, look like I do. Do you? We wrestle not with flesh and blood. There's another world out there. There's powers and things, but God made the earth, and He made it good. Man did all sorts of things, and the ground was cursed. But we live in between. You know that, Patty.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. So, you stick close to your paw. Don't let him get lonely. 'Cause you know the other one. Where 2 or 3 are together in my name, there I am. But if the good Lord don't work for you too well, He works well, but He gives us some other things too.
Well, sometimes he needs some help, doesn't he?
Just a little bit. I think he's awful busy most of the time.
Oh, I'd say he's got plenty on his plate right now.
Oh, just plenty. And Lovelina is gonna slowly get up and Joe, is she gonna go get a book? Is she gonna go get...
Yeah, you're in charge. Yes.
I know, it's not my episode. She'll go and get you a book. Me and Joe can decide what it says later. She goes and gets you an old book. She goes to a shelf. She can't see like she used to, Hattie, so she takes a minute. She
I know better than to offer help, because that'll get me the evil eye, and
Yeah.
She's still doing it. You're still doing it yourself. I respect. I hope I'm that agile at your age, Miss Walden.
Oh, everybody wishes that. Secret's these good visits of yours. And then peppermints, of course. Alright. And she reaches up and gets a dusty old book, and she it's all as best she can, and she sets it in front of you. She said, if you need a little extra help, you know, the good Lord needs a hand. This might help. And inscribed on the front in just itty bitty little letters says, "Wards against evil." There's a few recipes in there and a trick or two to help keep you safe.
This means a whole lot, Miss Walden. You know, I wouldn't be here bothering you this late if I wasn't genuinely concerned. Just let me know. Let me know what I owe you. I'll be sure to run it by next week or so.
Just come back next week, Miss Hattie. That's all I need. Now, you better get on home. Getting late, and that grandson of mine will be yelling at me that I ain't getting enough rest.
Well, can't say I don't agree with him.
Oh, all right. You head on home. I'll get lots of rest.
God bless you, Miss Walden. I'll see you soon.
God bless. Lord bless you, keep you, Miss Hattie.
Same to you.
Right.
I'm gonna put 3 peppermints on the table and shut the door behind me.
Hattie heads back home, and I'm gonna shuffle all my chickens into the pen if y'all don't mind, and pushing off you all up towards wherever you're sleeping. But we do see Junior hasn't head back out to the shack or the couch or wherever he's gonna end up tonight yet. He's kind of like, Maggie's laying down on the bed, and Junior's sitting on the floor leaning up against the bed, and it's just been a long few minutes since he's read that letter of just kind of silence and not really knowing what to say. And Maggie, you feel this stirring. It's not painful, but it feels kind of like a kick. And your hand kind of goes up to your stomach, Junior. You notice this, and I don't know, Maggie. You're just reminiscing. It feels real nice, but also real strange.
Is that thing moving in there, Maggie?
Junior, yeah, you see that Maggie kind of touches her stomach a little bit.
Yeah, kicking it all. You want to feel? Give me your hand.
Yeah. Yeah, I would. And Junior, hands her his hand.
She puts it on her stomach and has, like, her hand over top of his.
Does the baby kick again?
You feel like, after just a second of holding your hand there, Junior, you have this real visceral deja vu of feeling Korome's belly, feeling Maggie moving, and now you're feeling Maggie's baby moving.
Maggie, I remember when it was you in there. Why I don't have to explain it to you. You know better than I would, but all these years go by and it doesn't feel like any of them really did,
Yeah, not really at all, huh?
You're gonna... Orme would be... He'd be proud of you, Maggie. You're gonna be the best ma for that baby.
I'm gonna try.
I know you will. And I feel like I have to say it to you, Maggie. I'm sorry that I haven't been the best pa for you. I got nothing to say for that except I'm sorry for how long it's taken for me to tell you that.
I'd rather hear it now than never. But you were a good pa. Always just exactly what I needed.
I tried, Maggie, and I think I could try more if you'll give me the chance.
Yeah. I'm getting a little tired. Would you tell me a bedtime story?
And Junior's heart, it's already melted. I mean, it was heavy enough, having read the contents of that letter, knowing all the things that Maggie has gone through without him, thinking back to her childhood, all the times he shouldn't have been there, the times that he was there, but only for the walk, picking her up from Pappy's house, taking her back, and all the things that he missed, and all the things that he should have been there for, and all the stories that he stopped telling her. Because they used to share a lot of stories. And as she asked for that bedtime story, he tries to think back to any of those ones he would tell her. Fantastical stories of, slaying dragons, or, the grand adventures of mystical creatures, or anything from their walks, when she wanted to hear what he had to say and when he wanted to tell her. He racks his brain and he says, well, Maggie, I don't know if I have any good stories left in me, ones you might want to hear, but I'll try to think of something. Like, I remember this one. I do remember this one. A very precious little girl told it to me once, so I don't remember all the details or really even the ending very much. I might have to change it up a lot, but if you're ready to hear it, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I'm ready, Daddy. And she lays down a little bit, pulls the quilt up to her chin, is kind of just watching.
Yeah, and he readjusts, the quilt for her a little bit. And he takes a deep breath, because Junior Grimshaw hasn't told a lot of stories, but he hasn't told a bedtime story in a long, long time. And he says, well, once upon a time, there was a king and a queen and a princess too, and let's just say the whole royal family was there. And they would always host these big galas, these dances, and everybody in the whole royal kingdom, they would always come. It'd be the best thing. They'd have these grand old parties. And the family, they'd always be the stars of the show. And they would bang out these tunes on their instruments like nothing nobody had ever heard before. They were singers and players, but everyone thought it was the princess herself that had the best singing voice, the best talent in all the land. That's what they said. And they were right. They said the princess, she sounded just like her ma, when she would sing. When she got all dolled up, she would look like her too. Well, anyway, they'd always have these parties, but the best part of the gatherings, so these tea parties they'd host. The princess would throw these, and she'd all get all sorts of teacups and fancy crackers. Fancy crackers? Is that what they have at tea parties? I don't know. Whatever else they eat at tea parties. And she and the queen would sit and throw these tea parties all over by the pond, by the lake, in the woods, in the sunlight, in the long hours of summer, when the sun would shine through the trees, and all the little critters came out to play, dressed up in their fancy little tea party outfits or whatever they got dressed up in. But they'd always host these, and every day the princess was ready for a tea party after the gala. And she'd have the place of honor set up for the family, for the queen, for everybody. And this went on for years and years. And one day the queen didn't come. And so all the little teacups and the chairs and the crackers and jam, because they had jam there was jam too. It all just sat lying on the table untouched, Well, the princess went off on her own. She had to grow up. And all the royal family, they went on their own way. They went missing the queen, missing each other. It was like that for years and years, but the princess, she was always the best of her family, with the biggest heart, the prettiest smile in the whole wide world, from here to there. And so one day she decided she had to get everybody back in the whole royal kingdom. They were waiting for the whole family to come back. And so it was hard, but all the royals, they did come back. Came back together, a little older, a little ragged, a little rough around the edges. You know what time will do anyway. And they came back together, and they reconquered that kingdom. And it cast out all the evil knights and got all back together like they were meant to be. Now they throw tea parties and galas and dances all day and all night long. And sometimes if you go to the edge of the woods, and in the long summer hours of the sunlight, in the daylight, if you go over there, you can hear them singing and playing and carrying on the tunes of the tea party. That's my story, Maggie. I hope you liked it. I know I didn't get it all right, but
My favorite one. Thank you.
I love you, Maggie.
I love you too, Daddy.
Are you comfortable in this bed? Do you need some more pillows, some more blankets?
No, I'm just fine.
Does Maggie fall asleep?
She dozes off a bit.
Check your text, Hannah. Does Junior stay? Go? Back to the shack? Back to the couch?
Not for a long time. He'll stay until she falls asleep. He'll put a hand on her leg or on her shoulder or something. He'll watch as her breathing deepens, When she was really little, when she would get sick and, Cora May had done her shift and it was Junior's time to sit up with Maggie and make sure she slept through the night. That's what it reminds him of. And he'll stay there till she falls asleep and for a long, long while after. Just sitting and thinking. And half of his heart is happy. And the other half is still weighed down.
Yeah. Everybody falls asleep. Maggie, you replay that vision as your dream over and over and over throughout the whole night, seeing that deer pool. Nothing. And as Tuesday is upon us, everybody roll either an intellect or a speed check to see how your very first rehearsal goes. If everyone hits above a 10, 11 or higher, you're doing pretty dang good. But you guys just let me know what you roll.
20.
Naturally?
Yes.
Wow.
I can dance and I can fiddle. I keep rolling 20s
Got
on
a
this.
little bit of time to refamiliarize yourself. You're all back.
Anything to distract myself.
Absolutely.
19.
19. Oh, please. Yeah, you never stopped, Maggie. 4. Yeah. 6. Yeah.
Lucky
That's
number
speed.
13.
13. Hattie, it's been, this is a new base. It's not the one you were real used to and comfortable with, but, you're doing just fine. The girls are, naturals, prodigies. They're just wonderful. All of you knew that. Pappy, you've tried real hard to not touch that guitar since Ethel. And so even having the same one back in your hands, it's a real weird feeling. And so your performance pretty bad. And Junior, you probably ain't touched a washboard since you left either. Or, if you have, it's been a while regardless. And Yeah, the women are doing all right, and then you guys just kind of keep, like, real kind-heartedly keep pausing and going, did you need me to, maybe I could check your strings for, no, you're okay? All right. Junior, do you have, you do? Okay. Like, all of you kind of trying to, like, kindly troubleshoot without, just destroying their spirits in your very first rehearsal. It goes okay. It goes okay. You guys finish up. It gets to the peak of frustration where Pappy and Junior are frustrated with themselves. All of you are a little bit frustrated with them. And you guys all just kind of, somebody, okay, calls it. Let's be done for a while. You kind of set everything down and spread off to go sit on the porch for a little bit or go walk by the creek or just kind of spread out. And Jenny, we see you, you're still in the living room and you're looking for a place to set down your fiddle. You kind of, I guess you wouldn't be, I mean, you guys are all back at the house now, but you went to Birch's barn, you rehearsed, it worked real nice. You're back in the house now, you're looking for a place to store your fiddle because you ain't going upstairs. And you hear a quite timid knock on the door.
While it might be timid, Ginny will never not know the cadence of that knock. So she's gonna go open the door.
More morning, Ginny. I was, Mom sent me down here to ask you if you could, maybe work a day early. I know she said tomorrow, but she needs a little help in the, store today, and, I told her I'd come down here and ask and walk you back if you could help her.
Right. I think I can. We finished with rehearsal for the day, so let me just holler and let everybody know where I'm going, so I don't just disappear. And I'll be right with you. But she kind of like leaves him hanging at the door, walks away. I'm assuming other people are around. If she catches Hattie's eye, Hattie might see some panic. I don't know if Hattie's around or not, but whoever's there, she's like, I'm working on that costume thing, and Sybil liked me a day early, so I think I'm gonna go in and help out. I'll see you all later.
Well, sure. Actually, if I could bend your ear for a minute before you get down there.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Sheriff. Give us just a second here. I find myself in need of 9 golden-eyed needles. Do you think you'd be able to procure that for me? You know, the thicker ones you use for, like, denim and stuff like that, canvas and stuff like that. Could you at least tell me if she has any down there?
I certainly can look. I don't know how many she'd have. Of course, it's been a decade, but I'll keep an eye out at least. Yeah.
Okay. You want me to?
Golden?
It does.
All right.
I'll explain later. You want me to trail behind?
I appreciate the offer, Auntie. Normally I'd say yes, but this talk's been coming for a long time, and need some privacy.
All right. I'll honor that request. But I do expect a follow-up when you get back.
All right, don't go be nosy now.
I'm not being nosy. I'm just looking out for you. You know that.
Thanks, Aunt Hattie. All right, 9 golden needles.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Turn around and walk back out. I guess, to the door. I think Ginny just left the door hanging open with Jack standing there looking real awkward.
Yeah.
Always looking
He's always looking a bit awkward. He's a bit nervous. And he seems a bit more fidgety than normal. So he's just sort of moving around, and as you walk out, he goes, I'm sorry. It's just there's a bee. You know how I get, just sort of swell up like a balloon. But I'm just not quite as good with these your bugs. Well, as some real smart folk. So
hold on. Jack, that's just a bumblebee. I think you'd be just fine. And she pulls like a handkerchief or something out and just kind of like, wafts the air a little bit, gives it a flight in a different direction. All right. I don't think those are the kind that you react to, but better safe than sorry, I suppose.
Yeah, we don't need me fainting on your porch. But I think you're right. Them ain't even the kind that sting. They're just the kind that sort of run into you. Oh, yep. That's all. They all look the same to me.
The kind that run into you. Yes, we got a lot of that going on. All right, Jack.
I don't know. I think they.
It's all right. It's all right. Come on.
They don't. Yeah. All right.
So Ginny, as is probably always the case, sort of steps off the porch first because he clearly is not going to lead her anywhere, so she's going to do some of the leading. Yeah.
He walks up next to you and he matches your cadence. He takes a deep breath in and out.
All right. Well, we have a few minutes. And I believe I promised you a conversation that has been a long time coming. So, I don't really know where to start. Jack, how are you?
Right, well, Ginny. Same old. Ma's doing good. Town's about the same as it was when you left. Couldn't quite be just the same, but close. No, things are normal. Things go well. I got the promotion about 6 months after you left for college. So
I see that. No one's surprised.
Well, so it's it's been a while. I'm settled in, but got the same friends, same company. Got a new deputy who's, if I'm honest, didn't try my last nerve. But I told Miss Littling I'd give the kid a chance. So we're doing our best. But no, yeah, I'm well. I'm mighty well knowing you're back in town, and I don't know if you're happy to see me, but I'm glad we can at least talk.
Yeah, I sure owe you that much.
Ginny, you don't owe me anything.
I'm pretty sure I do. And honestly, Jack, I don't know why you're not mad at me, but I think it's more confusing that you're not, except for it's not, because you're you. So, it's not surprising to hear everything's the same, and that you're doing well. Part of me's sorry that I missed that. But the fact that everything else is the same is exactly what I was afraid of when I left.
Yeah, we do. Well, I was gonna say we do our best, but that ain't right. Ain't
No.
nothing in this town trying to change, so we don't. I know that ain't like school and things. I hope that went well. I tried to write when you first left. I don't know if it ever got to you.
I may have gotten one or two, but I'm not gonna lie, Jack. I have them. I never opened them. I told you when I left, I'd never be able to leave. If only a part of you came with me, I couldn't. So I've got them, but I didn't read them, and I never wrote back.
Well, don't read them now. I was 22. There ain't no telling what I wrote. That was the deputy
that might be all the
from-
cause I need to go read them now.
Oh, no. You don't need to go doing that. Deputy Price wrote those. I don't know him anymore. He is, well, I think he's grown up.
Yeah? What's changed?
Well, Ma says I got taller.
Well, that's true.
But, I don't know. I guess I'm just more tired now. I was at 22. Yeah. Things don't get old. I don't mind doing the same old nothing every day, but I don't know. Just get tired. Maybe there's, there's only so many people that you can be in charge of, and the big bad sheriff for, and before you get tired and lonely. But you ain't asking to hear all that.
I think I did ask to hear all of that. It might have been 10 years, but I still remember a promise that I made you that if I came back, you could tell me what you were thinking. And I feel like I have not given you much of a chance to tell me really what you were thinking, or I don't know, to ask me anything. I suppose this is that chance.
Right. Ginny, I know school is probably where you're meant to be, and I think it's true. I think you're right, smart. And you know that, and we talked about that 10 years ago now. But and all the being away and all the studying and things, were you happy?
Sometimes. When I was busy enough. Yeah. It was interesting.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot, including that no matter how much I work or how smart I am, I'm still a woman. And then I got lonely again. Not many people want to hear what a woman has to say, even if she had all the right in the world to say it.
Then they're damn fools.
I agree.
You say you got lonely? What, there weren't All them smart kind of folk all around you? Didn't meet nobody
No.
interesting?
No, if they were smart enough, they were busy. And if they weren't smart enough, I wasn't that interested. I'll be honest with you. There was one man who tried, but he really thought me being there at school was a lark. And he was real interested to see me be done. That didn't go very well. So, all it really did is made me realize that there are not many Jack Prices in this world. But,
Well, then I hope I'm a good representation of a dying breed. I ain't much, Jenny.
why do you keep doing that to yourself?
Well, it ain't a bad thing. It's just the truth.
You like to put me on some pedestal. I don't like being up there. I like being down here. Sometimes I wish it was more interesting, but it's lonely there.
Pardon me for the pedestal. Hard not to do. But I don't want to put you on a shelf. Ginny, you ain't breakable. You're not something too far different,
Now,
I know you're still.
don't go call me boring, though, Mr. Price.
I couldn't not in 100 years. But it's good to talk. And I'm glad to hear you're doing well.
Well, that's a relative statement, but yeah. Things were interesting.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
You need anything?
Oh, I don't know. Sense of direction? Maybe? I came back and this town is everything that I was ready to forget, and yet at least I feel like I'm at home. And I left and everything was exactly what I wanted it to be, but there's nowhere to go. I just wish I could figure out how to put the two together. But do I need anything? I think I need to get to your mama's shop is what I probably need to do.
We're you know the way. It's just up this corner. We're almost there. Well, I ain't too good at giving direction, Ginny. Not when it comes to anything other than telling the Paynes where to put their cow. But truth is Maggie. Truth is Ginny. That was Megan. I'm gonna do that again. I read the notes and it's my bad. He said, truth is, Ginny, I missed you. And the only direction I could give you would be to stay right where you are. But that ain't fair, so I won't. But then sometimes I think if you got another direction in your head and you jumped on a train and went somewhere else, sometimes I think I jump right on too.
Jenny's gonna
But,
stumble a step. That is definitely a catch your toe on a rock kind of moment.
Ginny
Um,
falters just slightly. Jack.
But you ought to get to the shop. So
Yeah.
tell Mom I said hi. I ain't got time to stay. I gotta get back down to the station. But
Oh, all right. Yeah. Well, I don't think I gave you much time to ask me any questions, or maybe you did. I don't know. But I'm sure I'll see you around your mama's shop.
so, good talking, Ginny. I know where to find you, and I'm glad we're friends.
Ooh.
And he'll kind of nod.
That was Morgan Ooh, not Jenny Ooh.
He'll nod and leave.
Woof! Ginny, I'm gonna let Morgan have some time to think about that. And I'm gonna let Morgan and Eli discuss what the conversation with Hattie and Ginny looked like later on, but I'm gonna scoot us along if that's okay. We get all the way to Wednesday morning, and I'm real tired of doing this sound effect. But Ginny, you just happen to be quite near the front door as it knock, knock, knock. And if you were to glance out the window a mere 10 seconds before, you would have seen, like you had seen many days before, Jack Price walking up to your front door. And, I mean, you hate to assume, but you probably assume he's here for you. And that knocking.
I think there's like a little like heart skips a beat. Not sure if that's excitement or dread. We'll figure that out later. But she kind of pulls the door open.
And you notice, you hadn't noticed him before for whatever reason. Not only is Jack Price there when you open the door, but so is Pastor Buddy Moon.
Oh, morning, Jack, Pastor Moon. What can I do you for?
I think Pastor Moon will lead, which I think is hilarious. Pastor Moon says, "Well, good morning, Miss Ginny. We've just got a bit of a community problem that we'd like to speak with you and your family about. We all here, I think we ought to gather in the kitchen or a nice place to sort of talk about a few things. We've got a bit of a trouble. So we've got some trouble in the flock between a couple of sheep, and I'd like to see that taken care of just as soon as possible."
Right.
And,
well, we have a few people here that need their morning to gather themselves, in case you haven't noticed. Would you mind telling me what I can go tell everyone we are gathering for?
And Jack will speak up. He says, "Well, Ginny, we've had a bit of a serious accusation. We have not many witnesses, but we've had an accusation and a report that your uncle, Junior, has been accused of assaulting Levi Payne at the schoolhouse yesterday."
Well, I saw my uncle most of the afternoon, except for when I stopped into your mama's shop, and I didn't see any of that happen. But if it did, I'll bet he deserved it. Can you hold on a moment? And she's gonna.
Jack would have definitely said it happened Monday, because that's when it happened.
Or whenever,
That's what I meant when I said that.
She was in the shop when that happened. Like, that was the only time she did not see Junior. But even if it wasn't.
On Monday.
Stick with that. Where are my manners, though? Why don't you, you want to have a seat, and I'll be right back. But Ginny is not gonna... She's not letting them in the door. Let us not forget that Ginny has no social graces. And so she kind of like mostly closes the door, but not all the way so that she doesn't look entirely rude. And she'll turn around. It's morning, right?
Yes.
So who might she find first?
I think you can pretty easily, for purposes of time and ease, if you're just trying to get everybody into this main area where your guests are, you do it. It happens.
No, she is trying to give everybody a heads up about why they're about to gather into this area. So whether we have to go through that or not, she is letting everybody know that we are about to talk about the Pains with Jack and Pastor Moon. And as far as Ginny knows, not a damn thing happened.
Yes.
But
yeah. So if Ginny goes around and Paul reveres for all of you, who would come into the living room, no sweat, ready to hold up appearances and have this conversation? Junior,
Maggie
you
puts on-
are so upset.
We're in trouble. Our two are in trouble.
Maggie puts on a slightly smaller shirt so that the baby bump is really showing in case she needs to play that card.
Yeah.
You're a freak.
all right, so once everybody's gathered, I'll go back to the door and I'll say, thank you for waiting. We just had to, make ourselves
I thought Junior was
presentable.
gonna
Would you
run.
like to come inside? What?
I thought Junior was gonna run away. Yeah. No, I love it. He's like, here we go. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Megan.
They both follow in. Pastor Moon says, "Well, thank you, Miss Ginny. I'm just here to look after my flock." And he comes in, and Jack kind of follows behind him. He says, "Good morning, Grimshaw family. How are we on this fine day of the Lord?"
Maggie puts a hand on her hip as she lowers herself over dramatically into chair. Well, Pastor Moon, we are doing Pastor Moon. That's Hannah Baldinger asking. Okay.
Yeah.
We're just doing mighty fine. What a pleasure to have you here.
Well, I don't want to take up much of your time, but we got a bit of an issue with the flock, and with that there singing competition. You see, Sheriff here will talk about. We've had a bit of an incident with Junior and Levi Payne, like the good old days, and we're just concerned at the Cabra House of Worship that this singing competition, this band competition, is to the glory of the Lord. And we're just a bit worried that there's discord among our members. That's simply not appropriate for such an event. And so me and the sheriff have been discussing this morning, and he's got a few wrinkles to iron out, but generally speaking, we need the Grimshaws and the Paynes to show that they can be in one accord. Are you following me, friends?
Of course.
Certainly.
Keep going. We'll see if we keep following.
And Jack Price will say, yes, we've had a report filed, and I'll need to talk to Junior, see if we can work it out. Mr. Payne is not abundantly interested in pressing too many charges. He'd like to see it worked out and not looked into too much, but generally speaking, they're going to make a fuss if we don't have some peacekeeping. So, like Pastor said, we've been having a talk, and the deal is this, that we've spoken to the Paynes, and Viola and Levi and Jed, well, they're going to be here tomorrow.
Here?
And Pastor says,
Like the
Like in
house.
our house?
Jack nods. And Pastor Moon says, yes, we thought there's nothing better in the body of Christ to show this this being in an accord than a time of fellowship and of breaking bread together. So we have this plan. I've been right praying over it, and the older Paynes will be here tomorrow night if Silas, and he points to Pappy, and Junior and Hattie can host them. Just some dinner, some lovely fellowship, and I'll be here too, me and the missus, and we all just need to have a good time together, show that we can fellowship, break bread. While the young people, and he looks to Ginny and Maggie, he says, the two of you will go down to the Paynes, have a time of fellowship with the other young folk, with Miss Maud and I can't remember that dang kid's name. Wyatt.
Oh, I was gonna say, please tell me that's the pastor saying that.
I can't remember that
Says
kid's name.
that. I can't remember that kid's name. He don't talk much. With Wyatt and Maud and the sheriff here will be at that one, and some of the other young folk. My two will be there, and then Peach's triplets, they'll be there, and just a nice time with the young folks at the Paynes and us older folks over here for a nice dinner, and then me and the sheriff will talk about the behavior at the events, and we should just be able to make this all blow over.
I don't think that's necessary.
Pastor, I hear your proposal, and I propose you a better proposal. What if the Grimshaws have time of fellowship in our house, and the Paynes can have fellowship in their own house over there?
Amen.
How about that? Feel free to drop in. We'll get you a loaf of bread. We'll get you some apple pie for dessert, and you can take it over to the Paynes and get their dessert, which will not be as good as ours for sure, especially my Maggie's cooking, but I think I like that idea better. Don't we agree?
You guys should also know that Jack doesn't look like he's all in on this. He looks like the pastor has really twisted his arm to be here to combine church and state here. Just so you know, Jack doesn't think this is an awesome idea, or rather, he knows that you won't think this is an awesome idea.
I think the pastor goes to explain again the sort of merit of this, and Jack steps forward again with that sort of exasperated thing, and he steps toward Junior and Pappy. He says, I don't mean to be blunt, but Paynes have agreed to this ordeal with the pastor, and I will remind you, Junior, that Levi Payne is our circuit court judge. And if he is unhappy following this situation, I fear charges may be pressed beyond my capabilities of peacekeeping.
Mr. Price, you said he's pressing charges on my pa, but I mean, Pa and I walked home from that auction Monday together the whole time.
Yeah, have you collected any statements from us in refutation or opposition or addendum to
The worst day of
those that you took from the Payne family?
Okay.
Sounds like a bit of due process is in order, right?
So Ginny's gonna interrupt as well, because she sees that Jack's flustered and she's like ready for this. She's been sitting there flipping through the Bible that was like on the side table the whole time. And forgive me, because I have missed some Sundays, but I was just over here doing a little bit of my own reading, and I thought I just came across this passage this morning, and it's Proverbs, and it says, do not enter the path of the wicked or walk in the way of evildoers. Avoid it. Do not go on it. Turn away from it and pass on. And I think that is a right nice passage for this morning, don't you?
Hattie's just beaming.
And the pastor says, Miss Ginny, no, you're not calling the Payne family wicked evildoers.
Oh no, Pastor,
Oh,
no, but
Oh,
lies and threats, why those are evil, aren't they?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
you know,
Yes, they
we
are.
all fall prey to our flesh at some point or another. And who could blame the Paynes if they see this beautiful family getting back together and can't help just feeling a little bit jealous?
Might I add, but as your DM, might I say, you all may do this for as long as you want. Pastor Buddy
I'm
Moon
loving
does
it.
not wear down. He does not relent. He and the circumstances are quite clear. You are not allowed to participate in the competition unless you consent to do this, and you are not allowed to not allowed. Junior might go to jail if you don't do this.
Railroading.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like to be a part of the competition?
Yeah.
Okay, then you might want to do what the pastor says. If you don't want to go be a part of the competition, I guess you can say no.
Junior spent some nights in jail before.
All due respect,
If you want
Reverend.
this-
All due respect, Reverend. It sounds like to me that these Paynes just want a free meal on our land. Now, I know my kin. We can have a discussion. We can be civil. We're not going to do it on my land. We're not going to do it in my home. Open up your church. Let's have a potluck. We're all just hang freely. The kids can go about in the youth room, and we can hang out in the main sanctuary. But we're not having them Paynes on my property.
Besides, there aren't even enough chairs here.
Ginny is also going to look at Jack with like a death stare, being like, take it, take this. Make
Jack's
this
not in
happen."
charge. Jack's so not in charge.
I know, but I'm hoping he can speak neutrally.
Pastor Moon, he looks somber for a moment and thoughtful. And he looks up and he says, Luke 10:29 tells us that a man who wanted to justify himself asked our Lord Jesus, and Lord, who is my neighbor? And I think we all recall the lesson that our Lord taught, that any man is your neighbor to whom you show grace and mercy. And friends, if we can't be neighborly with the Payne family, if we can't invite them into our home, as the Paynes, might I add, have done for you, they're ready and willing to host the young folk tomorrow evening. All I ask is that you love your enemies. Be kind to them.
Pastor, I hear you, but I feel like you must be mistaken. See, I've got a copy of the New Testament here, right here, and that's not what that says. That's not what that says exactly. It says, love your neighbors.
Junior. Junior.
Here, I'll just give it to you. You can read it.
You're
Where is it?
I appreciate what you're trying to do here. But I do think this is an opportunity for us to show just how civil and humble and generous we can be. I don't presume to speak for the head of the household, but I think maybe this is the best case scenario if we are to have this sort of cultural exchange program with the Pains. For a couple of reasons. I don't have a follow-up to that. There are a couple of reasons.
The pastor applauds you. He says, "That is so well put, Miss Hattie. I mean, I know you are strong in your faith, and I know that we can all fellowship together and be of one accord."
All right. They can come. But Junior's cooking.
And that's where we're going to end our session tonight.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, thank you for tuning in. This was Hymns of the Holler on Whispers of the Dice. Tonight we remembered the night of Ethel's death, dealt with the perplexing not dear debacle, had some unfortunate but rewarding conversations, and accepted both an unfortunate and forced resolution of dinner hosting for the Pains in the future. Tune back in on November 3rd at 8 p.m., potentially, for the next episode to see what kind of trouble the Grimshaw family finds itself in for the future again. Now, have you found yourself lately plagued by some sort of cryptid West Virginia style? If so, you are in luck. This episode of Hymns of the Holler is sponsored by Mothman Defense Clothing Corporation. Stop by any of our new West Virginia locations to try out our Mothman Defense properties. For the last line of defense, we also sell high-quality defense tools, such as the Mothbuster 3000, 5000, and 7000. Mothman whackers that'll keep you and yours safe for as long as the light bulb's out. We also sell consumer-tested moth defense sheets that can double as your next bath towel in a pinch. So stop by and see all our sales, 50% off all items for one day only. Thank you to our sponsor, and see you all next time on Hymns of the Holler.